Hi, I'm Jamie Brunson. We're here in my studio in Oakland. I'm getting ready for a painting show at Michael Rosenthal Contemporary Art in Redwood City, and I'm really excited to have you here. Most of the work that I'm working on right now is informed by two things, and those are my interest in Kundalini meditation, which I've been practicing for about 15 years, and my interest in process and materials. And those two things come together in an interesting and unique way and shape the way, literally the way that I put materials on canvas and shape the kind of iconography that comes out of my working process. Kundalini is done as an open eye practice, so there's a particular experience that comes out of that. Most meditation isn't done with open eyes, so it's a kind of a visual state that occurs with the meditation process. I was trying to find a way to talk about what that experience looks like or feels like using paint, and came up with the analog of veils and lattices, because those are the two things, structurally, the two things that seem the most like what the meditation experience is like when you're within it. So I didn't want to paint literal veils, literal curtains, literal draperies, but I was interested in the movement or motion or physical quality that implied that. And likewise with the lattices, just any kind of form that would suggest interconnectivity or all things being connected to all things, because those really are the states that occur in meditation. I usually start with a canvas that's been painted over with a monochromatic surface. Now I paint on a material that's called polyester. It's actually a synthetic canvas. It's a new material, and it's got a very smooth surface, and that's important to me because there's a kind of a glassy, smooth quality that I need to create the kind of surface that I'm working with right now. So I'll start with this very smooth polyester, put a single, very saturated color on it, and build it up and build it up and build it up, sand, build, so that I get this really glassy surface of many, many, many thin layers of glazes. So there's a lot of medium. One thing that I tend to do is pair opaque and transparent colors. So the base would be an opaque color, and then the glazing on top is transparent. And by varying the thickness and thinness of the transparent glaze, I can get a saturated color. It's a matter of using a full body gesture. Right now I'm working with a combination of palette knives and brushes. So the palette knife wants to create a certain kind of mark when it's tracked on a certain kind of surface, and then I can diffuse that or brush that out with these very fine brushes that I use that are glaze brushes. So I'm trying to get that quality of motion, but I'm also trying to get a quality of diffusion, and it's the sort of improvisation between opaque, transparent, pulled, brushed, that creates this feeling of constant movement. Actually, this piece, it's terrible to have favorites, but I do have favorites, and to me this is a really seminal piece. It was one of those things that's basically a gift. I was talking about how noodling around often leads to something. So you're just in with the material, not assigning a value, but just sort of doing things with this material, this process, no, this material, this process, and seeing what happens. And I was playing with putting a really thin, transparent layer over this red, and discovered that this sort of dragging process created this mark that was both hard-edged and diffused. And so in a way, this was the piece that sort of led to the whole series. If this work succeeds in doing what I hope it will do, people who see it will get a sense of that openness and expansion, that experience that comes with the meditation experience. and will take a little piece of that away with them after looking at the work.